Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have made it to week 14. If you are here, it is now time for your playoffs. Let's get this done. Do you know if he's going to be limited? So, of course, this is going to be the big topic of discussion for today. Amon-Ra St. Brown dealing with the injury. They say he's going to play. We'll see how much that's actually going to be because it is a question that I'm sure is on a lot of people's minds. I would expect that he sees a decent amount of use, but it is going to be really dependent on what your other options are, unfortunately, because it's not great. This is, of the players, I'd still like JMO the most when it comes to the Lions. I think he offers the most upside. I think that with Amon-Ra dealing with an injury, he could very easily end up being limited, and you don't want to end up having to try and play through that. I do think he'll probably score, so I do think he's going to have fantasy relevance, but I have moved him down. Instead of him being a top 12, I think I moved him to like 26, 25. So moved him to 25. He's behind a lot of players, mostly because, again, I moved Williams up so much just based on the information that we had at that point. And so makes it tough. If you got your questions, please ask them because this is likely going to be the big topic. But Isaac Tesla now becomes a flex at best. I still think that he is likely going to be the one who is going to be kind of in that third wide receiver / tight end / everything else, but it's ugly. All right. So, outside of that, because they don't have any tight ends, that's also why I think they're going to end up using Tesla quite a bit, and Gibbs as well. We kind of touched on us being a little off of David Montgomery, again, dealing with just the fact that Gibbs has been playing more and more of the snaps that are in that point in time when they're making sure he can carry more of the workload and then be able to back him off in games that they don't need him. So at this point, you're still starting both of them. On the other side of the ball, the person I like the most is going to be Pickens, and it's not close. He does really well against man, and I expect him just to torch this entire team. So Lamb, I have him ahead of Lamb by like 4 spots, so not a whole lot, but still. All right, get these questions out of the way. Daniel, pick 3. Wilson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, McLaurin, Myers, Monty Monungai. Because we don't know at this point, I'm going to go Myers, Wilson, and Amon-Ra. I still have McLaurin behind him, not by much, but he is just slightly behind him. And same thing with Wilson's right there. Higgins is right there. Godwin's right there. All Aaron Jones, Tracy. I don't like either of these. I would go probably Jones because I know what his role is. And Tracy, when it's come to Dart, it's been Singletary, not Tracy. Just how it's been, unfortunately. And so him dealing with injury isn't helping things. Would you start him over Godwin, Pierce, Smith, or BTJ? I would be starting him over BTJ for sure. I have him over. Nope, Godwin's ahead of him barely. I do have him ahead of Pierce barely. And definitely ahead of. Nope, and behind Smith. So he's right in the middle. Jacob, planning on playing Jameson Williams, but with Brown, I would still go with Jameson Williams of those options. Henry's another safe play, but I don't love that as much. And Igbuka, while it is a decent matchup for him, the fact that Godwin is back has really thrown a wrench into everything and how he's being used because it's really dependent on what the defense is playing. And right now, I think with Baker being hurt, he's going to go to Godwin a lot more, unfortunately. So. Glitchy, which one of these should I drop for Godwin? I don't care, bro. We've gone over this. They're all trash. So, Jones, you know what his job is. Charbonnet is going to be a touchdown or bust running back. And Franklin, again, is just a player who's going to flex. Of them, I'd much rather have Godwin because he's a superior player to all of them. That's what it comes down to. It's really your choice, your team. But all of these can be dropped for anything that's better. Our North, St. Brown, or Igbuka. I still am going Amon Ra barely. I'm also really low on Igbuka compared to a majority of people. I know the matchup is decent, but again, I don't trust it nearly as much. I know what St. Brown is, and in this game, they're going to have to use him whether they want to or not. I am a little nervous because it is an injury that can easily be re-aggravated, but we'll just see how it goes. Start Fannin over Monty. In any kind of PPR, yeah. Fannin's just more consistent. I understand. So does everybody else. It's just one of those things that I can't help you. I've told you all the information. If you need more information, I can try and get it for you, but at this point, I would have Godwin over all of them. So it doesn't matter which one you drop. Are you playing any of them? Because that becomes kind of important. I think this should be the last week of bye, so you'll have everybody else. If you're not going to be playing any of them, there's no point in having them on your team. I'd much rather be stashing my handcuff. I'd much rather have a defense. These things are important for the playoffs. Now, I understand trying to win it, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. Which Higgins? I don't have him over T. Higgins, and I have him barely over Jaden Higgins. So, T. Higgins logged a full practice today, which made me jump him back up to where he should be in a matchup that he should dominate. So, Buffalo is in trouble, is what it's really going to come down to. I have Higgins as my wide receiver 12 and Jamar Chase as my wide receiver 5. Luke, have both. What Bears are? I'm playing a Bears running back, that's for sure. I don't trust Sutton. It's nothing to really do with him. It's just all dealing with the fact that offense doesn't look right. I think it's a lot to do with coaching. I don't think it is even to do with Knicks. It's just everything's off on that team, and it's brutal. I don't like any of it. It's all terrifying. Of the Bears, I'm probably still going to go Swift because when he's healthy, he's good. And as of right now, he's the one who's practicing. So at that point, I know Monangai is back. I think he had a limited practice today. Let me double check. But I'm pretty sure it was a limited practice. And with that in mind, yeah, so he had a limited practice today. So it helps, but he didn't practice Wednesday. Limited practice today. Swift has been in full, so I'd much rather roll with that. The ceiling could be high, especially since, again, this is a game they're going to have to throw. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there. R North in a guillotine league, one spot. T. Higgins, Amon Ra. It's Higgins. It's not close. Tesla worth picking up and playing over Rodriguez? No. I'd much rather go with the thing I know here. And while I like Tesla's talent and the fact that they want to use him, it's not worth it. Don't get cute right now. Rodriguez is still the lead back in Washington, and it looks like potentially we will have Jaden Daniels. So that also makes things a lot more interesting because it opens up the run game even more. Steven, would you play Tesla over Allen, Worthy? I'd play them over Worthy and maybe Bryant because, again, when it comes to the Broncos wide receiver, good luck deciding who's going to do what every week. Tesla, I know just because of the fact that they don't really have other options. It's going to be Gibbs, Amon Ra, and Williams, and then probably Tesla as the fourth option if they're able to cover the other three. Tesla, again, the other thing about Tesla is the fact that he is also getting targeted in the end zone. That helps him. But we touched on it yesterday. Keenan Allen, I think this is a perfect setup for him. In a game where they're going to have to throw occasionally, Allen's going to find the weak spot in the zone. I'm a little more nervous. The only issue with that is, again, you're on both ends of the spectrum. I don't want to play a player tonight and not have a player go and then it be Trey Lance on Monday, because that also isn't what you want. Daniel Montgomery or Bam. That's Bam. He's still a starting running back. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure I still have him barely ahead of him. I have Bam exactly one spot ahead of him. So it's back to back at 29 and 30. The man need two. It's going to be Brown and I think it's Flowers. But is it Flowers? Yep. It's Flowers and Amon-Ra, barely. Demand, and then it's going to be Dak and Brissett. I'm not playing Lamar. Since you have Ibuka, I would go Godwin. Again, it also comes down to health. And while Evans, it's going to take a minute for Evans to get back to. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how that works out. But with Evans coming back, Ibuka actually gets a boost with Evans back. Evans is something that they will have to account for because he is such a big target. Shit. All right. Chizad. Chit. Okay. Yeah, I'll try to remember that. I'm usually pretty good at getting names down, so I'll try to remember it's like shit. Okay. So Higgins had a full practice today, massive. So the other thing that I definitely want to touch on, Rome Odunze didn't practice for the second day in a row with the foot injury. That makes me very nervous to play him. It moves up DJ Moore quite a bit. It moves up Loveland. He could potentially be a flex at this point. So, and it definitely moves up Burton, who I was already kind of on because I had noticed that Odunze didn't practice. And if he doesn't practice tomorrow, boy, I'm going to be firing up Luther Burton like crazy. Talked about Jaden Daniels, looking like he could play. Had a full practice today. It's the first time since the injury. Pretty good news. It's a soft enough matchup. He will be going against J.J. McCarthy, who's cleared concussion protocol. That's going to be interesting, but I still think that they should be able to do whatever they want, so I'm not super worried about it. PPR, need one. Monangai, Ibuka, or Watson. I still think I go Watson. Again, he's just more consistent at this point right now, which I hate to say because talking about Green Bay Packers wide receivers is terrifying. So I don't love it as an option. EE? Who is EE? I kept seeing EE, and I don't know who that is. I guess it's Ibuka. I have Smith by one spot, so it's literally a coin flip. And of the two, I'd trust Ibuka a little more, but it's really a coin toss. It will definitely come down more to who's all playing for the Chargers. Because I'm really nervous at what's the over-under on that game. That game currently has an over-under of 41.5. I would be surprised if they get to that. I would probably have it closer to 38. So you're looking at a 20-17 game at best, and I don't like that for pass catchers because, again, Eagles are a pretty good defense, but they also aren't going to be without one of their best defensive tackles. And as Neil alluded to yesterday, the fact that they've been iffy on their run game makes it just that much easier to kind of get away from it. How about Adonai Mitchell? I like Mitchell. He offers more upside than both of these players. But again, It's the trustworthiness. We keep going back to the fact that Mitchell has a bunch of upside. Don't get me wrong, he has one of the best separation scores around the league, and it's not close because he can get away from anybody. He's super fast. The issue is who's throwing in the ball and if he will catch it. So, upside is definitely there. It really comes down to what your team needs, because that's unfortunately where you're stuck. The good thing for Mitchell is that he really doesn't have a whole lot of people to go against, so that's a big positive for him. Let's see. Herbert, of course, didn't practice. I didn't see him if he practiced today. He didn't practice yesterday. They're saying MHA could play, but he didn't practice today either. Neither did Trey Benson and Greg Dortch. So don't like any of those. Royce, that really comes down to what you need. I would prefer to go with Amon-Ra because, again, I know what that is. But Adonai Mitchell has a lot of potential and a lot of upside in a game that is kind of made for him. Dolphins don't really have anybody that can cover anybody that's fast. It just is going to be really based on how much pressure and how much time they give Tyrod to throw it. And I don't think it's a whole lot. So, you're welcome. Hopefully it helps. I mean, like I said, I can only do so much. It's really limited sample size. And with Godwin coming back, Igbuka is doing his best against a cover 3 zone, which isn't being played by a whole lot of people. So this game is kind of set for him when it comes to the Saints, because that's kind of what they do play. They have enough talent to kind of get after it, but not the best team. And surprisingly have a higher over-under. Tyler Shuck has really been getting it done. But the Devontae Smith thing really comes down to whether or not Herbert plays. So, appreciate it. Like I said, I really do what we can. But I don't see anything else. Hope you all enjoy the game. Good luck to the start of playoffs and hopefully this Week 14 game. Oh, Cash Money coming in late. Ooh, where do you go, Stafford or Goff? I still have Goff higher. Let me see. I have Goff at 5, and I have Stafford at 6. They're literally back-to-back. So I don't think you go wrong here. Goff, again, I had him all the way down at 7 earlier because I wasn't sure if if Amon-Ra was going to play. Now that he is out there, even if he is going to be as a decoy, they're going to have to pay him respect. Otherwise, they will throw it to him. And I was going to start JMO or Nico. I'm still fine rolling out JMO at this point. Don't get me wrong, I like Collins, but it's not trustworthy. Again, when it comes to the Texans, this is a game that they should win, but it shouldn't be high scoring. I think that they're going to try to control. I would guess that Collins likely scores a touchdown. I would also expect Williams to score a touchdown, but of the two, I trust the fact that this game's going to be higher scoring. I'd much rather go with the upside of Goff. So, they're going to have to throw. Of course, Daniel. Thanks for coming. All right. We're going to get out of here. Good luck. I will be... So, no locked in tomorrow. Appreciate it, Cash Money. Well, there's no locked in, no betting show tomorrow. Had something come up. Sunday, I will be back at 11 ahead of kickoff. 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific, in order to help you set your lineups ahead of the full slate of games. So hopefully tonight you get what you need. You get off to a hot start. Really hoping for at least a 10 from Amon-Ra. I mean, you just had a really bad week from him. So if you played him last week and won, hopefully you can do it again this week, and he'll give you more than he did last week. So, all right. In any case, good luck. Have a hot start. And remember, as always, to keep up the nonsense. I will see you all on today.